Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. I'm going to start the video today with a quick apology. I got confused yesterday because I made a video about the 15-point plan for Iran to stop the war, and I got the countries mixed up. So the 15-point I gave was actually coming from United States, not Iran. And it was quite late, and I was just reading from the Twitter, so I apologize for that. As a token of my apology, quite a few of you actually pointed this out, but already went to sleep, and by the time I woke up, I saw the messages, so it was already too late. So this piece of news was a couple of days old, but I didn't really have much time to cover it. I needed some good 10 minutes or so to cover it, basically. So Ukraine fired some drones which went through Poland, Lithuania, and Estonia and Latvia, and it hit some oil and gas facilities all the way in Russia. And you can see the drone trajectory went through these NATO countries. So this happened a few days ago, and I've seen a lot of Twitter accounts basically saying Russia is just too soft. You know, if this was Stalin, Stalin would have really hammered these countries. And I kind of agree, kind of don't agree. I don't know, guys, because I do think Putin is being very, very soft here. Because you have Iran here who are completely fearless and they're attacking every single American base and stuff like that. And the Americans are literally hiding in hotels using Arabs as human shields because there's no like American soldiers in bases anymore. They're all hiding. So this is the best time for Putin to attack these NATO bases in the Baltics, in Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, because this is the best time because America is busy with Iran, first of all. Secondly, Trump has said that he wants to leave NATO. He said basically NATO is useless, and he's probably going to stop funding NATO very soon. He also said that Iran, the Ukraine war is not his war. So America is, ready to basically wash their hands of Ukraine. So this is why I think it's the best time for Russia to hit these bases in these Baltic countries. And first of all, it's going to teach them a big lesson. Secondly, the Europeans are not going to do anything because they do not want to start escalating with a nuclear exchange, especially when America is busy with Iran. America will not be able to help the Europeans when it comes to when it comes to fighting Russia. They will not do it because, first of all, they're busy with Iran. They just do not have the resources at all. And also, if Russia doesn't do anything, this is what NATO's going to be doing. They're going to use these NATO countries to attack Russia even more. And these were important gas and oil facilities for Russia. I think it provided 40% of Russian oil and gas, from what I read. I think it did a huge amount of damage here. So I really think that Russia is probably they are probably being too soft, guys. And also, I think Russia needs to help Iran more because don't forget, America and the Europeans have been flooding Ukraine with weapons to kill Russians. They have been literally flooding, Ukraine, and they've killed thousands of Russians. And if Russia really wants to get its revenge, I think what they need to do is provide or help provide Iran with much more weapons, much more intelligence. I know they're probably doing that right now, but I don't know what capacity they're doing it. And I know Russia's quite busy with Ukraine as well, but this is the time to really take advantage of this geopolitical situation. And I think if Russia wanted, they could easily take advantage and really, really hurt not only United States but also NATO. And my opinion is, I think Russia needs to do more. They need to come down harder on Ukraine. They need to come down harder on these Baltic states who are obviously been helping Ukraine. And these Baltic states, they used to be part of the Soviet Union at one point. And all they need is a smack, guys. All they need is one or two smacks, and trust me, they will basically come good. They will stop messing around. And United States and Europe are not gonna start a nuclear exchange because of the Baltic states. Let's face it. The Baltic states are not important enough to start World War III or a nuclear exchange. NATO will not, kick off Article 5. I guarantee you that. This Article 5 is just a sham, absolute sham. They will not kick off Article 5, especially when it comes to Russia, because these Europeans, they love life. They don't want to basically kill themselves in a nuclear exchange with Russia. They want life. They want to live. They want to go parties. They want to be part of this exclusive club. They're not suicidal in any way. So this is why they're not going to start Article 5. And in fact, this is why I think, guys. I mean, obviously finish off Ukraine first. But once Ukraine is finished, I think Russia needs to really teach these Baltic states a lesson. And the only way Russia can teach these Baltic states a lesson is by taking their land. And I think Russia should take maybe half of Estonia, um, take all of this. And what does that mean? Basically, that would mean that this port that Russia uses to export gas and oil will be more free traveling along this Baltic Sea here, and they should also take maybe half of Latvia as well, and they should literally block them access from the sea completely. That will really teach them a lesson. And they should take half of Lithuania as well. Again, block access from the sea. So these countries will be left with, basically small states. They'll be left with small states which are going to be landlocked. And that would really teach them a lesson. And also the good news is, Russia will be able to link up with Kaliningrad as well. And in fact, what they should also do is maybe fill up this gap. This gap is basically, will it's part of Lithuania. It's called the Slovakian Gap or something, and it goes from Kaliningrad, Lithuania, and on to Belarus. And if Russia can fill this gap, that is a major weak point that NATO could exploit in the future. So I think that's what Russia needs to do, but not now. Maybe once they finish off with Ukraine. And that's the only way they can shut these ridiculous Baltic countries up. But this is just me talking, guys. I mean, I'm a lot more, how would you say, hawkish than a lot of other people. And this is why my channel doesn't grow, because my views are extremely extreme. And but I think if you're gonna really fight the West, you need to be very, very extreme, because you've seen Trump, you've seen the West. The only thing that these guys respond to is strength. They don't respond to weakness. If they see a country which is weak, they will attack it. They will steal its resources. They will bomb that country. And it's happened time and time again throughout the history. But if countries are shown to be strong and fearless and if countries show no fear, they show no mercy, countries are relentless, they mean what they say, they mean business, that's what the West responds to. Especially now, guys, especially now. I mean, look at what Trump is doing. He's attacking Venezuela, he's attacking Iran. He don't care about international law. After Iran, he's gonna go after Cuba. After Cuba, he'll probably go after other South American countries. Then he'll take Greenland. And then after he's finished all of that, he's going to come after China. That's his plan. So countries around the world need to protect themselves, especially from United States, from NATO. Any country that's associated with NATO or is a puppet state of America needs to be taken down. Either there needs to be a regime change in that country, or they need to, basically get the Americans out by what Iran is doing, by blowing up all the American bases. So this is not just for Russia, by the way. I think all the countries really need to basically look out for themselves in terms of security, because you don't know when America is coming for you. They are literally coming for any country. There is no international law anymore, guys. It's all over. It's finished. The international law, the UN, all of that used to govern the world after World War II. It's all gone. It's all shattered thanks to Trump and Israel. So countries need to do whatever they can for their own security and to show some strength, some bottle, some balls. And I know my views are extreme, but look what Trump is doing, guys. Just look around you. Whichever country you're in, guys, Trump is coming for you one way or another. He'll either attack you, or he'll either sanction you, or he'll tariff you to death. Yeah, countries now need to understand that the whole world order has changed now. And it's become more and more urgent for a new world order to come up. A new NATO, basically led by China, Russia, and Iran. Just these three blocks, plus North Korea and any other country that wants to join. Yeah, that just needs to happen sooner rather than later, by the looks of it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Am I being too extreme here, or am I being reasonable? Let me know. So there's a story here from Reuters saying that SMIC has been providing Iran with all the latest chips for their hypersonic missiles, and also they've been providing materials and chip making equipment to Iran as well. And they've been sending engineers to Iran to help them build underground factories. So my answer to that is, why the hell not? Why not? Why can't China do that? Why can't SMIC do that? SMIC have been one of the companies alongside Huawei and other companies as well. But SMIC has been hit severely by Trump over the past 10 years or so. Severely, guys. SMIC is one of the most sanctioned companies in China alongside Huawei. Literally nothing is allowed to be sold to SMIC. Nothing. All of ASML's chip making equipment was banned. They're not allowed to sell to SMIC. So SMIC had to do a lot of the stuff by their own, with their own skills, and they have got a lot of kind of old chip making equipment from ASML from secondhand markets, and ASML have also sold SMIC the old DUV machines as well, not the latest DUV machines, but the older versions. And SMIC have been using that to basically make the latest chips, and they've been using the DUV machines, and they've been putting chips together as well. They've been using new techniques, new methods to make the processes faster, and it's working. They have been building their own 7 nanometers. They're going on to 5 nanometers now. Huawei's using their latest chips on their phones. And the Americans are shocked. The Americans are shocked how SMIC have basically been able to produce 7 nanometers, 5 nanometers, and these chips are just as good as processing work. I mean, not the best, obviously, because TSMC still the best, only because they have the EUV machines, which China is not allowed to buy from ASML. But they're not far behind, guys. They're really not far behind at all. And the Americans are absolutely shocked how far the Chinese have come when it comes to chip making. And China has already built its own DUV machines now, and these DUV machines are making their own 7 nanometers, even up to 5 nanometers. And it's not going to take long until China releases its own EUV machine. And I think that's going to probably take another year or two. They have some prototypes available, and they are still going through some testing. But it's not going to take that long for China to release those machines. And once those machines are out for full production, then it's game over. Companies like ASML are going to lose their business because you have the latest ASML machine costing around $500 million or something, really expensive. And it's expensive because they they basically buy parts from all over the world. So you know they get the lasers from United States, they get um, the how would you say, the mirrors from Zeiss from Germany. They get the neon gas, used to come from Ukraine, but now it comes from China. They get lots of stuff from Qatar as well. Helium gas. You need helium gas. They get that from Qatar. So you see, these machines have got over 100,000 working parts, and each part has to be delivered from different parts of the world, and this is why it's so expensive. But China is the first country ever to build its own DUV machine without having to rely on foreign parts. These are all homegrown parts. And when the EUV machine comes out in China, which is going to be homegrown as well, then it's going to be game over because first of all, it's going to be way cheaper compared to ASML. I mean, we're talking 1/10 cheaper. Instead of spending 500 million for it, it'll probably cost around 50 million, or maybe even less, maybe even 5 million. Who knows? But China will source all the materials at home. It'll be homegrown, basically, and that saves a lot of costs because you don't have to spend a lot of money with travel costs and supply chains and stuff. China already has all the raw materials that it needs. So why can't SMIC supply Iran? Because SMIC has been absolutely sanctioned to hell by Donald Trump and by United States and by the Western world as well. So they have no say whatsoever what SMIC does with this business. They have decided to completely cut off SMIC from the world. So SMIC will basically do what they want and sell to whoever they want. So again, this is like pure hypocrisy from the West. They try and destroy a company, and when this company survives and starts making good progress, suddenly now they want favors now. Now they say to SMIC, "Oh, please don't supply chips to Iran. Please don't do this. Please don't do that." Why should they listen to you when you've been trying for all these years to destroy that company? So SMIC have released no comment, by the way, which is really good. China's released no comment. But why shouldn't allies help each other? End of the day, there's nothing stopping from allies helping each other. Look at what America's doing. Israel literally does genocide, and America's helping them, giving them weapons, giving them diplomatic cover. And they are destroying their own reputation just to protect their allies. They're starting wars because of Israel. You know, so why can't other countries help their allies? So yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about that hypocrisy. So it looks like Yemen has joined the war, guys. Yemen has just confirmed that any ships going through the Mandeb, I think it's called Mandeb, or I can't remember the full name, but near the Red Sea, basically, and any hostile ships that go through are going to be destroyed. That's what Yemen said. So Yemen is now ready to join the war, and this gives a big problem to countries like Saudi Arabia, who have been sending oil through the Red Sea instead of the Hormuz Strait. So if Yemen blocks that area, then it's going to cause more of a roadblock. And already the oil prices have gone up today to around $115. And this is because Russia has said they're not going to export any more gas or something along those lines, because Ukraine has been blowing all the gas and oil fields in Russia. So Russia has said they're not going to sell any more gas to the market for 6 months, and this really pushed the oil prices up. And now Yemen's come into the picture, and they're going to start giving the Americans and the Israelis a bigger problem. And one thing Yemen has got, and Yemen has been actually, really, really, one of the best things Yemen has done is they're really prepared for war. They've had a 10-year war with Saudi Arabia, and they have put everything underground. All of their factories, facilities, weapons, everything is underground because Saudi Arabia have been bombing them for 10 years. I think there's been around 250,000 sorties, bombs in Yemen. So Yemen is really used to it, and there's no fancy buildings to destroy. There's no five-star hotels. There's no tall buildings. There's no Dubai marinas. There's nothing fancy that Israel and America can destroy. For example, Dubai has got a lot to lose. If Dubai went into a war with Iran tomorrow and they've declared war, Iran would literally destroy Dubai. All they have to do is start throwing some missiles at these tall buildings like the Burj Al Arab, the Burj, that tall building they have. Obviously, while it's empty, I'm not like, advocating anything here. And they can fire, they can basically destroy a lot of luxurious goods in Dubai. And you can see people in Dubai have been completely spoiled by luxury. And most of the people in Dubai are foreigners as well. There's a lot of OnlyFans models, there's a lot of crypto bros, and there's a lot of people there who live there to avoid tax as well. So it's a tax haven as well for a lot of people. So 80% of Dubai is basically foreigners. They would just leave, go back to their countries. And there really isn't much Emiratis living in Dubai. And the ones that live there, they're just used to having luxury. They're not really used to fighting wars. So Dubai would not last. Dubai would be absolutely destroyed. But Yemen is different, guys. You know, these guys fought with the best. They fought with America. They fought with Israel. They fought alone sometimes, against the Gulf states. And they're bred differently. These are real fearless Muslims, may I say. And they've got nothing to lose, and they've got nothing to fear, basically. And I think they can really, really go a long way. And once they come into this picture, and I think Israel and America will have another problem, and Saudi Arabia will definitely have another problem. And between Yemen and Iran, they can absolutely choke the world economy. There'll be nothing going through the Red Sea. and there'll be nothing going through the Hormuz Strait. When I say nothing, I mean hostile states, hostile ships like American, Israeli, and probably GCC countries as well. Um, well, yeah, we'll see. I think this is one bad news for the West. I don't think they wanted this to happen, but it looks like it's happened. And the reason Yemen has been late to the party is mainly because they've been preparing. They have been preparing. They know they're going to be bombed as soon as they join the war. So they have been putting everything underground, all of their weapons and manufacturing and everything is basically underground. So they've been preparing themselves for a long war, and now they seem to be ready, and now they can join in. So if America and Israel wants to bomb them, they'll be bombing nothing in Yemen, basically. And Yemen is basically going to be prepared for the long war. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. The video has been basically hosted by Chinese state broadcast. And when I watched it, I actually laughed my head off. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let me play it for you. It's basically uh, it's basically trying to show Trump brainwashed by brainwashed by the Israelis, and there's also the Japanese prime minister in there as well. They're mocking her, and they're also mocking the Saudis. It's really, really funny. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let me share it with you. I just saw this video. I just couldn't stop laughing. There's some subtitles as well at the bottom.
你没事吧？
你是谁？来我家做什么？
你是不是打算用油来炸鱿鱼？
我们只是研究拿来点灯用来生产而已呀。
别听他狡辩，他搞出来是想炸我们的，搞定他，把他炼油的东西都砸了。
哼，还狡辩？没人比我更懂怎么用油。不过我们也不是不可以商量。
你竟然偷袭我！你，
以后他在院子里面石油都是我的了。
长老，打死他，给我们的长老报仇！
大哥怎么进去这么久？不是说吓吓那个老头就行了吗？
急什么？大哥一定会带给我们一个惊喜的。出事了！别管大哥了，快跑啊！
哎呀，别打了，别打了！我一定会回来的哦。
So finally, I wanted to kind of talk about Pakistan. Pakistan seems like they've done something very naughty, and this has been basically admitted by Trump. He said in front of the media, he said that Pakistan has basically helped American ships go through the Hormuz Strait with Pakistani flags, and and then Pakistan sent 10 ships, apparently 10 ships, and they sent these ships to America. And that's what Trump said in his press conference. And I know Trump lies a lot, guys. I know he lies a lot, but something about this tells me that maybe he wasn't lying. And the fact that he said it in front of the media, and Pakistan has not denied it. I have not seen a single Pakistani official come online and come on, live state television or make a statement to say Trump is lying. Pakistan has not done this. Pakistan has not basically backstabbed Iran, because it seems like, because you know my views on Pakistan, guys. I mean, I love Pakistan and I love the people, The leadership are all corrupt, absolutely corrupt, and they're all basically doing stuff for the West. And you have this absolutely corrupt president. You have Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, and there's clips of him all over Twitter, really sucking up to Trump. You know, there's one clip in particular where he's really sucking up to him, saying Trump is the greatest, he's the man of peace. He, you know, literally so cringy, absolutely cringy, guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Pakistani leaderships are doing favors for Trump. And this is, if this is true, this is really bad, guys. I mean, they're basically, you know, they're basically taking in American ships and giving it to America without even giving it to their own people. So Iran has come out with a statement saying, you know, if Pakistan has really done this, then we are really disappointed. And I think Iran said they are investigating. They haven't completely put the full blame on Pakistan just yet because they don't really believe what Trump says. But the fact is, you know, Pakistan has not come out with a statement denying it. So there's some sort of truth to it. It might not be 10 ships, but I think there might be a few ships that went through and given to America. If this is true, and if there is a major oil crisis or a gas crisis, and Pakistan runs out of oil, then what's Pakistan going to do? Because they've ruined the trust with Iran. And if Iran finds out that this is absolutely true, and you know, and Pakistan has been smuggling ships and giving it to America, then they're not going to let Pakistani ships through anymore. They're just going to refuse. They're just going to say, you guys are trying to smuggle ships and giving it to America. We're not going to allow you to send any more ships. So this is going to really hurt the Pakistani people. And the fact that, you know, Trump is coming out on live television and saying these things in front of the media, it's absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's my thoughts for today. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.